I'm Caitlin Tarzia,
And I'm Ben Grossman.
and today we're going to be reporting about the cancellation of midterms this year, and we're going to hear from both teachers and students at WHS, and we're also going to hear from the younger students at elementary and middle schools and see how they're dealing with the pandemic.
Now we're going to send it up to Kylie. She's interviewing Mr. Cullen, who's a history teacher here at WHS.
Hi, I'm Kylie Valley, a junior here at Westford High School, reporting for the Lobby Observer. We have Mr. Cullen here, a history teacher at our high school. We're going to be talking to him about the midterm cancellations this year. So, Mr. Cullen, how do you feel about the midterms being canceled overall?
This year in particular, I was happy. Because of the model, the hybrid model, it's been difficult for some other classes, such as AP classes, to really get the time to go over some of the things that we need to go over. So midterms usually take us a week anyway, so by having a week remote, it gives us a little bit of time to kind of move in a more sequential manner, a little more quickly, but also it gave us that week back at the end of January, which for me personally, I needed to stay on pace for a test that's on May 11th. And I know that's in an AP setting, so that's a unique setting. But as far as our electives are concerned, I teach a few electives, those are the finals. So we typically want to make the finals a little more meaningful in electives, so that's usually more than a test anyway. So it depends on what the class is, but usually it's a little more a larger either research or reflection paper, which can be done without a midterm time slot.
Right. And then, kind of as a follow-up to that, I know you already touched upon some of the topics of this question, but how will it affect the overall curriculum?
So affecting the overall curriculum, sometimes the midterms are nice just so you're able to go review some of the things that you've talked about. It's can serve as a good check-in to see where folks are at halfway through the year. Are you essentially picking up what I'm putting down, or are we having some struggles? And obviously you like to do that more often if possible, but that's a really formalized one. But as far as shifting the curriculum, it gives us more time to teach instead of assess. And during this year, again, where we have so many constraints on our actual time for instruction, it does free us up a little bit.
And then the last question, do you think they'll be discontinued forever, midterms?
I don't. I know a lot of the other disciplines really value them a lot. In the history wing, in particular, they have mixed emotions about them. Again, one of the things that we're kind of pressing for a lot is larger, maybe writing skills or research skills, reflections on larger pieces, or different experiential things. For instance, in our legal studies class, there is no final, there is a mock trial. So that's an experiential activity that suits that particular course. But there are other courses, maybe in your math or science wings, that greatly benefit from having a formalized test to see if students are picking up those concepts. So I think it depends on the discipline really that you're looking at, because how English teachers feel, how social studies teachers feel, how phys ed, how foreign language, how science, it's going to shift in between each one of those. So that going forward, I would think if we're all trying to get back to maybe some kind of semblance of normal next year, I think that's something that they may bring back just to create that sense of maybe a stability in the curriculum as well, because it's been there for so long. The conversation is warranted, right? We may have a good conversation about should we bring them back? Do they come back? But it's difficult to bring them back in a couple subjects and not all subjects, just because of the way the rotation works. You just can't have 7 periods and then have finals on like those off days and then not have them. It'd be confusing for kids. So we'll see.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Cullen, for doing this interview. This is Kylie Valley reporting for the Lobby.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kylie. Now we're going to hear from Lily, who is interviewing a WHS student about her thoughts about midterms.
Hi, I'm Lily Wilson, senior at WHS, reporting for the Lobby O, and I'm here with Shannon Clark. Today we are talking about midterms. Shannon, how do you feel about midterms being canceled this year due to the pandemic?
I think this year midterms being canceled is the best decision. I think because school is inconsistent with being remote and being hybrid, I think that it wouldn't make sense to have midterms. But I think in general, midterms are important to have.
Definitely. How do you think this will affect the curriculum?
Well, again, I think this year the curriculum is just so different. Everything has to be shifted. I know a lot of classes had to reduce how much they are covering in their curriculum. So I think that the teachers would have to rewrite their typical midterms, which would also be more difficult. But I think that not having midterms this year is the right course of action.
Agreed, definitely. And do you prefer not having midterms, or would you prefer to have them in the future?
In a typical year, as much as I don't like them when I'm taking them, I think they are important to have. I think they hold the students accountable, and they also help keep the teachers on track for where they would like to be in their curriculum. But again, this year it just wouldn't make sense logistically, and it really wouldn't be fair to anyone, students or teachers.
Well put. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lily. I'm sure all the students here are very appreciative of the extra time they have to focus on their work.
I know I am. Now we're going to send it off to Kylie, interviewing her younger siblings about their experience at school during the pandemic.
Hi, this is Kylie Valley reporting for the Lobby Observer. Here I am with my brother Jack, and we're going to be asking him a few questions about how the elementary schools have been handling COVID. Do you want to tell them what grade you're in and what school you go to?
I'm in 3rd grade and I go to Hastings Elementary School.
So the first question I'm going to ask you is whether you like Zoom learning or in-person learning better.
I like in-person learning better because I get to see my friends.
Me too. And also, what's your favorite and least favorite part of learning at school?
My least favorite part is probably mask, and then my favorite part is probably like recess.
Why do you like recess?
It's because it's just fun.
And then the last question is, do you get to see your friends often?
Yes, I do, because I play sports outside the house too, so I get to see my friends.
Thank you, Jack, for answering those questions. This is Kylie Valley signing off for the Lobby-O. Now I'm here with my sister Nora. Do you want to say what grade you're in and where you go to school?
I'm in 7th grade and I go to Gibbons Middle School.
So the first question is whether you like Zoom learning or in-person learning better, and why?
I like in-person better because the teachers are there and it's easier to learn.
And then the next question is, what's your favorite part and least favorite part of in-person learning?
My least favorite part is that we have to wear masks, and at lunch we're so far apart. And my favorite part is that I get to see my friends.
Nice. And then the last question, you kind of already talked about it in the last question, but do you get to see your friends often?
Yes, because they're in my classes and on my team.
Awesome. Thank you, Nora. That was Kylie Valley reporting for the Lobby-O.
Thanks, Kylie, Jack, and Nora.
I hope the rest of the school year goes well for them.
Signing off, my name is Ben Grossman.
And Caitlin Tarzier reporting for the Lobby Observer.